Today, I am sharing my plan to take more listings this spring and summer using YouTube video ads. And I'm going to be very transparent and open. There'll even be a very funny video faux pas that I will share. And I'm saying my plan because I can't tell you that this is guaranteed to take you more listings, this, that, or the other thing, or some of what you might see in your Facebook news feed from other people in our industry. This is my plan. And I got started on this plan last week. I've already learned a ton, and I'm excited to share what I'm doing and where I plan on going from here. And I will mention this several times today that if you are interested, hold on, I got to monitor the live stream as well. For those that are interested in this topic, in an hour, I can't possibly share exactly how to do all of this stuff. So I'm going to share what I've done thus far and my plan moving forward. And for those that might be interested in diving deeper and figuring out how they can replicate it themselves, I am intending to do, it'll probably be a multi-day, multi-week boot camp around this topic. And so you can text if you want to be notified when there is more information available about that. You can text YT to 717-510-1452, the number tucked away in the corner there. But again, it's YT to 717-510-1452. It will be free for folks in my EXP organization, very transparently, but I can't make it free for everybody given the nature of what we're going to be digging into. And so you can text that or just reach out to me. You can shoot me a DM, whatever. So this topic was inspired or came about a number of different reasons. So it might have been Richard, I don't remember who, but recently on this mastermind, someone had asked about YouTube video ads. And my response at that time was, I would love to dig into that topic, but I'm not running them right now. And so I need to be the guinea pig, and then we can dive into the topic. And I decided last week that now was the right time to be the guinea pig and start to figure this stuff out. And what's interesting is I had almost forgotten about this. But for those of you who don't know, I've been in this industry for a while. I got licensed in 2007. My first year in the industry, I sold 23 homes. My second year, I sold 46. I realized pretty quickly that what I was most passionate about was the marketing, and specifically direct response marketing to attract clients. And so I transitioned into coaching and training. I built a company that we sold, et cetera. And I realized 2018-19, it was the right time for me to go back into actually selling and producing for a number of reasons. The biggest one is I was feeling less and less relevant. That even though I believed in what I was teaching and coaching and so forth, like I wasn't in the trenches doing it. And the first year back selling, first of all, most of my transactions were cold prospects. In other words, they weren't my sphere of influence. I didn't have any past clients. I did, but it was 10 years to 12 years ago. And a majority of those cold leads actually came from YouTube. We were running YouTube ads to a long form submission to attract buyers. Very different type of video content, what I'm going to show you today that I'm using now. It was more of a video sales letter type of ad. So it wasn't me on camera. It was my voice, but it was text on a screen, basically. I stopped running those for several reasons. The biggest one being COVID. And it was so hard to work with buyers, and there was so little inventory that I just pivoted my focus. But in going back to explore this idea, I was reminded I already have proof of concept here. I know this can work. And back then, I was specifically targeting or attracting buyer clientele, the majority of which was first-time buyer clientele, okay? Not that I'm opposed to working with those, and Cosette on my team, she's phenomenal at helping first-time buyers. But if I'm going to work at reverse engineering this, I want to figure out how we can use this process to get more listings. And I think that's probably why we've got a good crowd here today and folks interested. By the way, if you're watching in the Facebook group on that live feed, do me a huge favor, hit the like button and share with others that might be interested as well. Now, as I go through this, please go ahead and drop questions in the chat. I'm going to share what I've done, my plan moving forward, and then I want to brainstorm and collaborate and mastermind with everybody here. I know we at least have one other great agent who is in the Columbus, Ohio area, who's recently also just decided to dive in headfirst to the YouTube ad game. And so I know Andrew will share some great stuff that will be useful as well. But as I'm sharing, if I'm not seeing any of that, James or Andrew or Lo or anybody can jump in and interrupt me if there are things that we should dig into. So I'm someone, if you don't know me and if you haven't been on this, like I have a little bit of ready. I'm very much a ready, fire, aim, right? So when something strikes me, I go all in and I like full into the deep end as fast as possible. It gets me in trouble a lot, but it also helps me create some big time wins as well. And so when I decided, and I don't even know what the tipping point was, right? I don't know. I can't say that this was the thing that made me realize, okay, I gotta dive in on this and dig in on this. But once I did, I started two things. Number one is consuming as much information as quickly as possible so I could formulate version 1.0 of what I'm going to do, right? Where should I start? And I want to make an educated decision, but I don't want to be in analysis paralysis, right? I want to get enough information that I feel confident to get started, but not so much information that I just become confused and don't know what to do. So educating and then action. And all of this happened last week. So I decided to jump in. And the first thing I realized, and I'm going to start sharing my screen. The first thing I realized is the majority of the people that I was digging into what they were sharing were recommending that if you're going to start running paid ads, YouTube ads, that should be its own channel. In other words, you shouldn't be creating content that you're hoping to get traction organically on YouTube on the same channel as running YouTube ads. Okay. Now that I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying that more often the people that I was digging into, those that have some experience with this, most of them were recommending that versus not doing that. And so I figured, quite honestly, my organic YouTube channel is a bit of a hot mess anyway. So it made sense to me. Hey, let's just start over. Okay. Start fresh. So here is the channel that I created last Thursday. I think it was Thursday. Middle of last week. Yeah, it couldn't have been before Thursday because I had a doctor's appointment on Wednesday that I was a little laid out on Wednesday.
You never told us how it all came out.
Oh, listen, I don't have to do it again for 10 years. Anyway, so Thursday I start building out this channel. Literally, like a week ago, I built out this channel. Silly little profile picture with me and the target market. We've got the, what do they call this? Cover photo? Whatever this is called. Made these two with Canva. The keyword research that I did, minimal. I literally just went and looked. So my target area, and I'm glad that I started here, but I've already learned some things and those that are interested in what I'm going to do on the bootcamp, which by the way, you can text YT. I see a bunch of people already have. You can text YT to 717-510-1452 to get on like the VIP list, notification list. But what I'm going to do on that is I'm going to, again, start from scratch and just document the whole thing and show you exactly how to do all of this stuff. And in that scenario, I'm going to choose a different, even smaller target area city. And I already know the city. I've already done this. I've done that research. But how I decided on the name for this specifically was I just went to the keyword planner tool in Google. Okay, so you just go to, I don't know, if you just Google keyword planner tool, and I put in, basically what I was deciding between is Mechanicsburg, PA real estate or Mechanicsburg, PA homes something or other. And the keyword phrase that got more by far was Mechanicsburg, PA homes for sale versus Mechanicsburg, PA real estate. Because I wanted the name of the channel to be obviously real estate related in some way, shape, or form. And one of the reasons being, even though I am paying to get people to watch these, eventually they might get some organic traffic. So if the keywords match up, that was my logic behind that. And that seemed to jive with a lot of the folks that I was digging into their content on this idea. I also wanted to include my name, right? Because you want to start to create that recognition. And Mechanicsburg, we've lived in this area for a long time. I've coached a bunch of different youth teams. It's an area where my name already has some recognition, I guess is my point. So I'm not starting from scratch there. Whether or not you are, you definitely want to start making those impressions, because some people are still claiming that it's 7 touches before somebody makes a connection with you. Let's be honest, it's got to be way more than that at this point, because we are all bombarded with marketing messages constantly. So it's probably more like 20, 30, 40, 50 impressions until you really start to stand out from the noise. Okay. So naming, pretty simple and straightforward. As part of this, which may or may not be a huge deal, but I was able to get the name. My channel is at Mechanicsburg, PA Homes for Sale. I was able to match that up. That was part of my decision-making process. I was actually able to buy the domain Mechanicsburg, PA Homes for Sale. So everything is very and tied together nicely. I created the channel, and it's super easy. It's super easy to create a YouTube channel. If those of you that are motivated and want to get going before we're able to get together for the boot camp, just Google or YouTube search, how do I create a new YouTube channel? It's not hard. I used Canva to create my graphics here, and then I got started creating content. And Andrew said something while we were in the green room before we went live here that I realized very quickly as I was digging into training about this topic, that my content, what I say, I think is pretty good. But the quality of my videos is not worthy of being on a 65-inch screen television. And if I didn't or don't figure out how to get better at that, I could be doing more harm than good by paying to be on a TV screen. So as far as creating the content, the first thing I need to figure out is, how do I get better quality video, like TV quality video? And as silly as this sounds, for most of you, it's literally just going to your camera settings on your phone and fixing some of that. And I didn't know. I literally didn't know that I wasn't recording on my phone in 4K. And if you go to the camera settings on your phone, you can change to record in 4K. So all of the videos that I'll walk you through in a minute here, all but one were shot on my iPhone. I have an iPhone 12, or might be a 13. It's not the latest and greatest, but it's not way down the line either. And the only editing I'm doing is with 2 apps. Okay. So I'm recording this content on my phone, except for one, and I'll share how I recorded that one a little differently. The only editing I'm doing are with Cap and Descript. Descript, in fact, is also how I edit these sessions to clean up the audio and to remove all the ums and the uhs and I did it again. And all of the times during these sessions where I unnecessarily repeat myself. So I use that tool, descript.com, to clean those up. And it's the same thing I used for these videos. Okay. So the first video I shot for the channel was a welcome video, so that if people come to the channel, there's some bit of content. Now here's for me, but I'm going to show it because I like to be transparent. And I haven't re-recorded it yet because people aren't watching it. So these folks that I'm paying to watch the video, they're not going to the channel. I do need to re-record it. But it's a less than 60-second video. And this was shot on my iPhone. It was shot in my office. I literally only have the sunlight coming in, which it is washing out my face a little bit. It's not the best. I added some background music, which actually all of the background, I've added background music to almost all of these. I don't think I've done it on some of the real short ones, which I should. But I've been doing that right in YouTube. You can do it in CapCut and Descript, but I'm just adding the audio track in YouTube, which I can show for those that might be interested how to do that. So here's the embarrassing part of this. I'm going to try and find a still shot. If you can't tell, I have a giant dark piece of something in my teeth that when I open my mouth real wide, you can see. And it must have been like a piece of blueberry or something. And I didn't realize it until a couple of days later. Now, thankfully, not many people have seen this, but my point is you don't have to be perfect. Okay. And I do need to re-record this. And honestly, I was going to re-record it anyway because I don't like the way my face is washed out by the sunlight. My point is, you don't have to be perfect, but just understand that I'm just trying to be an open book and sharing what's doing. When you're running these YouTube ads, more than 50% of people are going to see them on their actual television. So the one thing you do have to remember and commit to if you're going to do this, it's got to be the highest quality output of video possible, meaning like it's not grainy. Even if what you're saying needs to be improved upon, if of those things, the graininess will jump out more than even an occasional or things of that nature. And once again, for most of you, all that means is changing a setting on your phone.
Speaking of that, Josh, David's asking, is it 4K at 24, 30, or 60 frames per second?
That's a great question because for most, and I don't know what an Android looks like because I haven't had one of those for years, but I would assume it's similar. Or let me think here. 24 would be the lowest quality of the 4K then, I think, right? 60 would be the highest. 30 is fine. 24, any of the 4K is fine. If you do the 60, I think what happens is the file size can get to a place where it's a little unruly. And so these videos are also short. So all of the videos that I'm going to show you here are all but one are less than 60 seconds. And the one that's more than 60 seconds is around 2 minutes, I think. The target for these should be 90 seconds or less. And I think if you, especially for the market update, it should be 60 seconds or less. Okay. So the 4K, either 24 or 30, either one of those should be fine. What I was shooting at, like what the setting was before that, it was 1080, which seems, oh, wow, 1080p. It looked terrible on television, right? So I went down, our biggest TV is in our basement, and I played one of them down there, and I was like, whoa. It was very eye-opening to me. That money is negatively branding you, basically, right? Like it's doing the opposite of the desired effect. And again, it's an easy fix. It's just a setting on your phone. Now, for some of you, if your phone is, depending on how old your phone is, you might have to get a new one. The other thing to keep in mind here is if you want to get a fancy microphone, that's not a terrible idea. And also, none of the videos, maybe one of the videos, I'm using a microphone. The rest are just my phone. And then I'm fixing or cleaning up the audio with Descript. It's literally a thing you check. It just says studio sound. You say yes, and it turns into studio quality sound. Sometimes you have to play with it a little bit, but generally speaking, it's like literally you toggle it on and all of a sudden the sound quality sounds like you had a lapel mic on from a television newscast. So the welcome video is the first video I shot. The second video I shot, which would probably not be your second video, but the second one I shot is I have a buyer. I have two clients, husband and wife clients, looking in this target market area, and we just can't find them something that they're excited about. So I told that story in this 56-second video, which, by the way, for those of you wondering, if this was an organic channel, I would tell you, please do not go to my channel and watch the videos unless you're going to watch them all and hit and comment. This is a paid ad channel. So for any of you that want to go and like just go to Google and pop in Mechanicsburg, PA homes for sale, like you're not going to do any organic harm to me if you want to check out these videos for yourself. Okay. I would have a very different tune. And I know if Daphne were on here, because Daphne is a queen at YouTube organic traffic and client attraction. Anytime she's been on these sharing, she's very adamant, and rightfully so. Hey, if you go watch one of my videos, watch it the entire time and make sure you hit the like button, etc., because we can negatively signal YouTube. You're not going to do any harm to these. These are all of these views I'm paying for, so you're not going to do any damage. So the first video I shot was an I have a buyer video. And I don't know how well you guys can hear these, but I'll at least pull them up so you can see. This is me just talking in my living room. Oh boy.
And not just any virtual assistant.
What about male? Why is it just a woman? Sorry.
We need your help. This is Josh Shanley, your favorite local realtor, and our clients, Todd and Amy, are looking
So you get the gist of that. I give their names, which is very strategic, right? Because it makes it more real and relevant. I talk about what they're looking for and the price range they're looking for. And I say very succinctly, like, we just haven't found what they're looking for. Now, what I screwed up in that one, which you'll see I've now fixed and even evolved in how I'm doing it, is I didn't have a QR code in that one. If you think about it, I already said that north of 50% of people watching these are going to be watching it on their television, which means even though in my ad, like when I created the ad, I have a link that they can click on, that only works if they're watching it on a smaller device. There's nothing for them. I think they can go, I should know this, but I believe you can, with your remote, you can actually go to the URL, but nobody's going to do that on their TV. Let's be honest. Like maybe 1 out of a gazillion are going to do that, but they will scan a QR code. And there are lots of auto or car commercials and other commercials that you'll see, even in Super Bowl commercials. There were QR codes in a lot of them. Maybe not a lot of them, but at least some of them, right? So people, they understand doing that. So I'll show where I'm referring to QR codes later here. I did pop up, I think I popped up at some point at the end here, a phone number and a URL. Call or text me at this number or go to this. So it wasn't that I didn't have any call to action, but in hindsight, what I've started to do is I put this, whatever this is, at the bottom, and then a QR code over my left shoulder, right? So giving people, making it as easy for people as possible to take whatever the next step is in the process. So that's the one I created first. But what I would recommend, or one that you can all start with, even if you don't have an I Have a Buyer story, is a 1-minute market update. A 1-minute market update. And I got the structure for the market update from Sharon Srivatsa. Say that 5 times fast. Who is the, Andrew, is he CEO? I don't know what his title is. CEO, I think, of Real.
He's the president of Real.
I think, and you can go find, there's like a 7-minute YouTube video that Sharon has on the best 1-minute market update and what home sellers really want to know, which is how much appreciation or how much equity or appreciation or how much increase in value has happened over the last, and in this case, I'm comparing, this is the March update, so I'm comparing February 25 to February 24, and then how fast are homes selling. So there's 3 statistics that I mention in this market update. They are the increase in average price, the days on market, and the month supply of inventory. I don't know that I needed to have all 3. And the third one might be a different stat, or some of them I may only do 2. But I think the average price and days on market, like that's relevant. What are homes selling for and how fast are they selling? Homeowners are curious about that. I'll also note that I mentioned month supply of inventory, and then I explained what that meant in one short sentence, because most people are like, what does that mean? So when I said the number of that, I said, and all that means is if there were no new homes listed, it would take 2.8 months for all of the current inventory to sell, which also isn't reality because some inventory is just not going to sell, period. But like, I tried to make it simple for them. And all of that in under 60 seconds. And so the opening script, and this is something for those of you that do want to run ahead of or just want to get started, the opening 5 seconds, okay? The opening 5 seconds of these is critical. Here's why. They can't skip the first 5 seconds, okay? They can skip after, but you've got 5 seconds to make an impression without paying. In other words, if they skip, you don't pay, right? So 2 things you want to do in the first 5 seconds. Talk to who you're trying to talk to and introduce yourself. So, for example, the March 2025, I'll play it, but you guys, if you can't hear it well, then I'll say what I...
Bailey, your favorite Mechanicsburg area realtor with your 1-minute market update for March 2025. The median sale price here in Mechanicsburg.
So my name and who I'm talking to. Now, next month, I'll probably say, what's up, Mechanicsburg homeowners? This is Josh Shanley, your favorite West Shore realtor or your favorite Mechanicsburg realtor, something of that nature, right? So I'm talking to who this is for and who I am. And then specifically for the market update, here's your month, here's your 1 minute market update, or there's another way that someone had mentioned it, but basically under 60 seconds. Everything you need to know about the housing market in under 60 seconds, something like that. So letting people know what the time commitment is so that they know what they're getting into if they don't skip it. Is this guy going to drone on forever and ever, or what is this? So I think you increase the likelihood that they actually view the video. And the chat is blowing up, which I am excited to dig into all of that. This part of it is already a little bit longer than I planned. So here's my goal. I'm going to share the rest of my plan in the next 10 or 15 minutes, and then we're going to open it up for Q&A and brainstorming and mastermind, et cetera. Okay. So under 60 seconds there. Now, the third video that I created, actually the fourth one. So there's the welcome video. There's the market update. I have a buyer. We need your help. We've got a buyer. Can you help us out? And the next one I shared is the story of a townhome that I sold in Mechanicsburg in January. I guess we actually closed in February. We listed and went under contract in January. We sold it in February. So I'm telling that story. And this is the one that I used different setup for. I'm playing around with Ecamm Live because I'm trying to increase the quality of these and my longer form content. I'm not suggesting that you have to. You could do something like this with Loom or something like that. Now, the tricky part when you're doing a screen share is making sure that the quality of the output holds up and still look good on the TV screen, okay? For whatever that's worth. I could have also told this story just direct to camera, and I could have maybe edited in some screenshots on the video, but I was just trying something. So I'm live to camera, but then I switched to this setup here, and I'm sharing some slides about the home sale. And here's how I did the story for those that are curious, because I think this is valuable, regardless of if you want to run YouTube's ads or whatever. The story about this, like traditional just sold, don't do that, people. We just sold so-and-so's tell the story, because everybody, go and scroll on your Facebook feed, and you'll see a bunch of just solds. And generally speaking, the only interactions you'll see with that are other realtors, or like the realtor's very best friends. But if you can turn it into a compelling story, you'll get engagements and reactions and even comments of other people. So I told the story like, and I've also crafted this story in text only, which you can find on my Facebook personal profile. It's in my news feed at some point. But I told the story of, hey, this is what the computers and Zillow thought the house was worth. Then I told the story of the activity. Then I said, we created a plan to do X, Y, and Z. Here's what happened. We had this many showings. We had this many people at the open house. We had this many offers, and we negotiated a cash-only sale as is, $20,000 more than the highest sale price in the neighborhood. I also beat my buddy, a guy that, this is a side note, but this is the competitor in me. I do get a little bit competitive. My buddy, I've known him forever. I was a partner with him. We did like a bazillion renovation fix and flip deals. Us and this other partner almost renovated an entire little neighborhood in Harrisburg. This is years ago. So I've known him forever. We put this one up coming soon. And the next morning he calls me and he's, hey, I just listed one in the neighborhood as well. Why did you list yours at the price you did? Because part of the process here is strategically pricing it a little below market value, 5, 10, 15%. So he listed his at 390. We listed ours at 375. This is a townhome community. They're the same model. They were both in a unit. They're pretty much the same thing. So I was curious. I didn't want to ask him. We went under contract about the same time. I didn't want to ask him. I wanted to just wait and see. I was letting the anticipation of what he's closed for. So we closed for 410. They closed for 395. 410 was 20,000 higher than the next. And now even that one closed after ours, but we're still the highest sale price by 15,000 in the neighborhood. I don't know that's of any value to anyone other than me bragging a little bit and rubbing it in to my guy, Wendell. So anyway, I tell the story in here, and then the call to action is, I don't even remember what the call to action is, honestly. If you want to explore this strategy, scan the QR code or call or text me at this number. When did I record these? I record these 3 on Monday or Tuesday. What's today? Wednesday. Was it yesterday? I don't know. Earlier this week. And these 3 are 15-second commercials. So these three are different style of videos that are not, I've got running as non-skippable, okay? So different strategy here. These are meant to educate and entertain and inform, at least a little bit, right? There's still a commercial, but you're trying to demonstrate knowledge and experience and prove that you're good at what you do. These are direct calls to action, 15 seconds or less. Here's what I got. Here's where to get it. And they're three different, and I've got a whole list of lead magnets or offers that I'm going to test with these 15-second commercials. These three are, number one, get multiple cash offers for your Mechanicsburg home. And I'm using iList to make good on that. They can instantly get cash offers. All they have to do is enter their address. Number two, get 4 unique estimates of value, also being delivered by iList, because the iList seller dashboard gives home sellers 4 different unique automated values. It's still what a computer thinks their home is worth, but at least it's unique and different, and they can actually adjust their values, which I'm going to make a version of this commercial where I actually show them, here's what your dashboard looks like, and here's how you can adjust the value. Doing all of that in 15 seconds or less might be a little tricky, but I'm up for it. The third of the commercials, and I really like this one because this one is fact. Now, depending on your state, you might not be able to make this offer, or you might have to, I don't know. I don't quite understand the whole non-disclosure state thing because I'm not in one. But the third one is get the March 2025 home price report, which is just all of the sales from February. They're indisputable, okay? So when you offer a cash offer or you offer home value, depending on where they're at in the process, they might get annoyed or offended by the numbers. But the home sale report is fact. If you're curious what homes are selling for right now in Mechanicsburg, you can get a free copy of the March 2025 home price report. And I like that one. That one is straight from the OG when it comes to direct response real estate marketing, which is Dean Jackson. Dean Jackson is, if you don't know who he is, like legit, the original direct response real estate marketing guru. And he's the best. Here's where I'm going to come in for a landing, and then we'll open it up for all of the comments and the chats, and we'll open the lines, etc. I'm going to go over to ads, and the Google ad dashboard is a bit of a pain, right? So like you got to understand that it's not easy to navigate. But I started basically every time I got a video done, I just created a new ad campaign because I just wanted to see. I wanted to see what would happen. I'm impatient like that. How can I bear with me here? I thought I had it up here. Oh, here's where it is. And then I need all of them. Oh, it's not including the bear with me. Search campaigns. No, that's not what I want. Okay, it's not bringing it up here, but here's what I can tell you, and I'll show what one of the more recent ones. I am getting, this one says it right here, but this is a different campaign that I set up. This is a sequence campaign. A penny view. So I'm paying a penny for a view, for someone to view the video. And this means 60.57 means more than half of the people are watching the video. In other words, they're not skipping the video. And the metric that pretty much everyone that I was digging into on this topic, the target metric here is 50%. You should be at 50% or more. And if you're not, it means you need to redo the video or try something different. You need to fix the hook. You need to fix the video quality. Something about the video isn't connecting with the audience. So 50% or more is the target for this number. It's way above 50%, which is one of the reasons why I'm pretty excited about this. And then these two, I just started this one yesterday and then this one this morning. These are the 15-second commercials. So the average cost is a little bit higher for these. Actually, no, they're not. The cost per view is actually about the same. It's 1.3 pennies for somebody to watch my 15-second commercial. I'm going to say one more time, for those, if this feels like it's resonating with you and you're curious and you want to get on the VIP list for the boot camp, which again, this is all happening so fast that I haven't decided if it's going to be multi-week or I'm going to do it all in 1 week with 3 different. But anyway, if you're interested in that, just text YT to 717-510-1452 to get on the priority notification list. And let's get into Q&A. Andre, I see your hand raised, so I'm going to start with you.
Yeah. Hey, Josh, I was just curious. What are these campaigns costing on average? Now, of course, that's going to be different depending on your area and all of that stuff. I get that. And also, have you seen any results yet from running these campaigns?
The cost. Here's what I have heard as far as recommendations, and this is part of what I'm playing with. The recommendations I've heard from people have been, so your market update video, that has a shelf life of at most 4 weeks, right? Because like it's a monthly market update. Let's say it's 3 weeks. What I have gathered from people is you should spend $50 to $100 per week for that market update video to get the viewership and exposure. I would say that advice is coming from people in very densely populated, very competitive markets. That's not me. So I'm trying to find in my market where that point is where it's enough to get the significant traction, but I'm not being wasteful with the spend. Most of the guys that I'm hearing talk about this are also recommending that you invest $500 to $1,000 per month into the totality of these YouTube ad campaigns. So not on one specific campaign, but like you should earmark that amount per month to this strategy to get traction. I'm getting clicks. I know I'm getting impressions, and I'm getting people to scan. I have not gotten the come list me call yet, but they've only been running for less than a week. And that's why I'm saying this is my plan, and I'm not promising anything as far as results because I don't know what to expect, and I haven't personally experienced it yet, other than the fact that years ago, I was getting people to fill out long-form applications, for lack of a better term, using this strategy. So I know it works, and I know for me, I like being on camera. I'm okay being on camera. I think I'm pretty good on camera. And something that is constantly playing in my head, a buddy of mine told me recently, he's the #1 luxury agent in Tennessee. It's not the best that wins, it's the best known that wins. You want to be the best, but the best known will beat the best. And so to me, it's one of those things where sometimes something just like clicks and feels right. And that's what this feels like to me. I jumped in with both feet, with concrete boots. I'm in the deep end. What haven't run long enough for me to see, because one of the things I'm very curious about is with the shorter ads, what is going to be my cost per click and my cost per lead? The ads that are directly saying, if you want multiple cash offers on your property, go here. If you want the March 2025 home price report, go here. If you want to check out 4 unique estimates of value, go here. That's what I'm very curious about, but I literally just started those yesterday. So one last thing, I'll just, the timeline of all of this. I created the channel Thursday. I think I submitted the first ad Thursday, and I'll show you just like the simplest, fastest way to get a video ad live, which is how I started. And it was the I have a buyer one that I think started running Thursday. Oh, and this is incredibly valuable. It got disapproved at first because I didn't realize that there are YouTube's housing category. When they deem that you're in the housing category, which I am, that's accurate, you can't target by zip code. And I was targeting, so my target audience, I chose 2 zip codes because Mechanicsburg is 2 zip codes. So you can be in Mechanicsburg and have 2 different zip codes. So it got disapproved. All I had to do was switch it to Mechanicsburg and it was fine. You can do the town and you can do a radius. You just can't target specific zip codes because they deem that against fair housing. Whatever. You can have a debate. I don't care. I'm going to play by the rules and it'll work out. I started those 3 first videos. I started them individually as these campaigns to get views. Then when I get into this stuff, I can only imagine what I was at a basketball tournament with my daughter this weekend, and some of the parents probably think I'm a psychopath because I'm in between games. I'm listening to this guy, and then I'm like, okay, this guy's saying I should try one of these ad sequences. So in between games, I pop open my laptop and I create the one that's running now that I showed the sequence that's a penny. So that's been running since Sunday morning, and that's holding at a penny and more than 50% view rate. And then the short form commercials, I got one live yesterday. I got one live literally right before here. We'll see what happens. But what I plan to do on the boot camp is I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to target an even smaller target area, and there's going to be some slight tweaks in the way that I launch that, and that's where I'm going to document all of it, like literally all of it. Here's how to create the channel. Here's how to create the content. Here's how to edit videos. Here's how to, like, all of it. Here's the landing pages, every last bit of it. So that was an incredibly long answer to your question, Andre. The answer is I don't know yet. The people that I'm listening to, which, let's just be honest, a lot of people in this industry, you got to take with a grain of salt. Like, I'm not saying they're lying, but I'm also not sure. You just never know what other factors are at play with their results and this, that, and the other thing. But most of them say that if you fully do this, you're going to start getting come list me calls in 6 to 12 weeks. Now, I want to be getting some more tangible results before that. Tangible results meaning traffic to pages, because then I can pixel those people, I can retarget those people, etc., and actually people opting in. And I'm pretty confident that will happen. But the actual come list me calls, that's what we all want, right? So that's certainly the goal.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. What does Descript cost? Did anybody look up what Descript costs? I don't even know. I can look it up. James, go ahead. You were going to say something else.
Oh, are you seeing the Zoom chat? There's questions and comments.
Okay. So here's, this one's going to go over. I try to keep this at an hour, but this one is definitely going to go over. If somebody can find what Descript costs and let me know, I don't know what I'm paying. It's not a ton. I think I paid for the year.
Looks like, are you on the creator plan, Josh?
Yeah, it's 12 for hobbyist, 24 for creator, or 40 for business.
I think probably creator, probably.
It's 35.
Okay. Okay. I should be able to tell here. Settings. I am on the subscription creator. I'm on the creator. And I think I'm on the, I'm on the monthly. I think they do a discount for annual, but anytime I'm trying something new, I don't know, I thought it would be useful and helpful. And I will tell you, if you're creating any type of video content, like, it's phenomenal.
Descript, because you can edit your script.
So you can literally just remove words and stuff. For example, as soon as we're done here, once it's rendered, I take that, I pop it in there. I do the studio audio. You literally click a button and it will remove all the ums and uhs and idiosyncratic noises that I unfortunately make a lot of. It removes them all. It will even go, the other common one I use is dead air, or if there's silence for 2 seconds, you can set it, if there's silence for a second or more, or 2 seconds or more, and it'll literally just get rid of the silences. And then the other one, you can actually, it will go and look for retakes. So for example, I know that I repeat myself a lot on here, but the video replay doesn't need repeating. And some of that is me like trying to do that for emphasis, but the video doesn't need to be longer for me to repeat myself over and over. It's a great tool if you're, it's been the easiest video editing software that I've ever used. It's also what I used, the videos that had the QR code and the thing at the bottom, right in Descript. I created the QR code in Canva and then just dropped it on the video in Descript. And yeah, it's super easy to use.
It's very user-friendly for editing.
Wow. Celeste says you can also, I have only used Descript in the ways that I'm describing, and I haven't even touched all of the things that you can do with it. You can add audio tracks and stuff like that. But Celeste said you can also retype the actual script with new words, and it will autofill the correct words without re-recording. I have not tried that. And it also will correct eye contact.
Yes.
And she said, I heard you can record in a Starbucks and remove all the background noise. I haven't tried that, but the videos that I'm walking, there is a lot of wind, and there isn't now in those. You can tell that maybe there was some wind, but it's cleaned it up considerably. Richard, will this be recorded? All of these are recorded. They're available immediately afterward in the Facebook group. And also, I take them, edit them in Descript, and then upload them to the Josh Shanley Coaching YouTube channel. They go in the school group, and the audio only is released as a podcast as well. Are you also using the cheat code of text overlay with keywords for your ads? The cheat code of text. So all of my ads are now, I've got the QR code. There was one or two that I didn't have the QR code. The QR code is over my left shoulder, and I have at the bottom, call or text this number or go to, for example, the commercials. I don't have call or text. It's joshvips.com / and whatever the landing page that I want them to go to. So like MCO is Mechanicsburg Cash Offers. And that goes to a landing page where they literally pop in their address and they're instantly taken to multiple cash offers for their property. Peas.com / MHV is Mechanicsburg Home Values. Peas.com / MPR, I think, Mechanicsburg Price Report. And so I'm testing those to see which one will work the best. Where you are not, what is the domain to join in the live session where you are not? Oh, in the live Zoom room. So each and every week, if you want to be in the live Zoom room with us, growwithjosh.com / M, growwithjosh.com / M. Also, wakeup.realestate / M should work as well. It's just easier than the long Zoom URL. Tom, thank you for popping that in. A lot of questions about Descripts. Running ads on your organic relocation YouTube channel will mess up the algorithm 100%. Now, some people say if you put the video unlisted and run the ad, it won't. But for me, I was like, I'm just starting fresh. Like I'm not even gonna try that. It's so easy to create a new YouTube channel. And if you're going to do this, the videos that you put there very quickly get a lot of views. So there's like social proof immediately if someone goes to the channel. Some of those videos already have a couple of thousand views, and that becomes social proof. And then each month, I'm going to create a new market update, hopefully a new sold story to tell, and maybe another buyer story to include. And there's other content pieces that I'm planning. Are you thinking about selling your home here in Mechanicsburg? Here are the 7 steps to make sure that your home sells for the highest price possible. And walk through in 60 seconds or less, or 90 seconds or less, our plan for doing so in a way that it's valuable to them. Like, here's how we do it, and you can too, kind of thing. And then they come to the realization, oh, maybe we'll just have you do it. Celeste, I'm sorry. I'm looking at your comment, the face down emoji or whatever that thing is. All right. So apparently some of you are trying to get on the VIP list, and because you've got KV Core and that's a KV Core number, you're getting blocked. I think some of you already figure out the workaround because some of you are personally texting me. If you personally text me YT to 717-571-0456, that's my personal cell phone, I'll make sure you get added. If you're getting blocked, or you could just email me or DM me. I don't know why that picture of you just flopped down is cracking me up. Oh, so I see the URL, the problem with the URL. It's not wakeuprealestate.com / MS, which would be, I can see why they were confused. It's wakeup.realestate / M is for these live sessions. Golly, I'm now just getting to the chat questions. Andrew says, bonus, you can use statistical data in your listing appointments to prove you're getting more property views on your listing than the competing realtor. Okay, thank you, Andrew, for bringing that up. One of the types of videos that I forgot to even share, I just don't have any right now, is your listings, right? Like super high quality listing video, and then you're demonstrating to the market. It's like social proof to the market. And then when the next person seeing this stuff reaches out, that becomes part of your presentation to them. Oh, by the way, every one of our listings here in Mechanicsburg, we do super high quality professional videos. And the last one we did, this is how many views it got. It's part of the strategy that we use to make sure that your home is being exposed to the greatest number of potential buyers in the market right now. Great shout, Andrew. Thank you for that. Oh, Descript. I think this is related to Descript. They do have a free trial, so you can try it out. Now, it might be that they have a watermark or something, but you can at least play around with it for free. And maybe they don't. I'm not even sure. Jeffrey, hey, Josh, are you using a master exclusion list? No, I don't even know what that means, but maybe I'll have to figure it out. So here's the only targeting I'm doing with it. So raise your hand or let me know. Should I show you? Do you want to see just like the super quick and dirty way to create? I can literally do it in 60 seconds.
Josh, this is Jeff and Guru guys. Basically, you need to find the master exclusion list so you're not showing up on music video channels, because it's a lot of wasted spend on these because people don't watch it. They just let it play on their phone. So you got to get off toy channels, children's channels, music channels, things like that. So there's a list out there that was out there. You can tag me and I can help you find it.
Okay.
But it's something a lot of people miss, and it really jumps your cost up.
So here is, I'll just do it real quick. I'm going to grab, I'll use this video and I'm going to go create campaign, create without a campaign guidance. Now, this is one of the things that is going to evolve over time and testing, but this is like the fastest, easiest way. For example, if you've got a high quality listing video and you want to get exposure because you want to demonstrate to your clients that you're doing everything possible to get exposure, this is one way you might use this. So create a campaign without a guidance, video views, continue. You can name it whatever you want. The bid strategy is target CPV. You can't even change that. This is where you can set up your budget, so a campaign total or a daily budget. Campaign total, it's now March 12th. If I want this to run for the rest of March, I could say I'm going to spend $125 and I want this to stop showing at the end of March because it's the monthly March, the market update for March. Right here is where Mechanicsburg. This is where I had originally had the zip codes, the 2 zip codes, and that got disapproved. Once I switched it to Mechanicsburg, it was running live. You would choose enter another location, enter a location, and just type in your city. I'll just put in Camp Hill. So if I wanted to put in Camp Hill, the reach is 60,000. This one, the projected reach is 126. The only other targeting that I'm doing currently, and per Jeffrey's recommendation, I'll try to figure out how to exclude those, but I've been very pleased with the results as of now. The only other targeting I'm doing, you can't do demographics. Do not do demographics. I repeat, do not. It'll get disapproved. Don't choose age or whatever, or additional, none of that. But you can right here, interest and detailed demographics. Just type in homeowner, bang, right there. And I pop in the URL. I say, let's say I want this to go to the home price report. Actually, where I'm currently having those go, my market updates, is my Josh, this one here, Meet Josh. Okay, so I'll just actually use that. Pop that in here. You can play with the path. Let's chat, meet Josh, whatever. Call to action, definitely want to do that. I have been using tap here or, so either tap here or in this case, when I'm sending them to that page, I'm just going with let's chat. Jeez. Then the headline, 30 seconds. I forget what I'm doing for this, but own a home, let's chat. And then the longer headline, I've just been doing something. I've been talking to the audience, basically. If you own a home here in Mechanicsburg and you're curious about what's going on in the market, check this out, kind of thing. And then literally the cost, the CPV. So what I'm finding is because my view rate and interaction rate is so high, I'm paying significantly lower than what I'm bidding. So it's saying minimum of 3. I think I'm bidding that 3 or 5, but I'm paying a penny. And that's because the view rate is so high. You hit the create campaign, and generally speaking, those have been then getting views within a couple of hours. Generally speaking, like the first one got disapproved because I had some things that were screwed up, but then beyond that, they were running pretty quick. All right, now I got Q&A that I got to go back through here. Sorry. And these, normally we try to keep them to an hour, but Eric, I already answered the one thing. I think they call it the thumbnail. So I didn't talk about thumbnails, but each of them do have a thumbnail. I don't think they actually see the thumbnail when you're paying for the views, but I did create them, and I'm keeping, if you notice, the theme for them was pretty similar, but I don't think they'll actually see them unless your videos start to show up organically in the search feed. So I think you probably want to have it on there, but it's not going to be as mission critical as the thumbnail on an organic video that you're trying to get to rank and get views from, I think. Andrew, ready, fire, aim. That's right. That's how we roll in this household. Does this show as a trailer for new visitors to your site? So my welcome video does. That's a great question. I'll show it real quick. And again, I need to redo it because I have a big, giant piece of blueberry in my teeth. But if you go to the channel, wait a minute, why is it not there? View stats, view the channel on YouTube. I know it starts to play depending on where I What am I?
Not like
Oh, I don't think it's incognito. I thought my channel. I have it set as the welcome video. You do that under settings, channel, advanced. I don't want to bore everybody, but it is. I did set that as a welcome video. It's got 2 views, so people are not watching it. Eventually they might, which is why I do need to redo it. But like, I wanted something to be there. It hasn't seemed to matter because, again, it's got 2 videos. Thomas March, 24 is cinematic movie, like 30 is news and TV oriented, and 60K is the best, or 4K 60. I think I'm either doing 24 or 30. I'm not doing the 60. I can't remember. I'll double check while we're here. So if you go to settings and you go to camera and record video, I'm 4K at 30 FPS. 4K at 30 FPS is what I'm currently running those as. The reason to record in 60 is for fast hand movements and also to be able to slow down some actions for effect. So I need to start recording my sons at bats in 60 because then I can super slow it down when he's hitting. Andre, I want to repeat this for everybody. He said, so you're saying we do not have to invest in a fancy mic. I'm saying it's not mission critical. Eventually you might, but all of those videos, except for the one where I'm at like this station here, all of the other ones, there was no mic. It was the phone out in front of me. And then I used Descript to make the audio quality better. So if you're going to use Descript or something similar, Descript is not the only one that can do that, by the way. It's just the one that I landed on using. And again, I started using it for these sessions, quite honestly, to make the replays of these better quality. Andrew shared what he's using, $44 for a lapel mic. That's pretty reasonable, right? I don't think it's going to do any harm to do that, but I guess my point is it's not necessary, especially if you're going to use Script. Chris, I don't see the actual resource. Oh, there it is, the Google Doc. Thank you, Chris, for that. We'll get that added to the replay with this. And then Andrew, thanks for sharing the navigating. And that's Andrew, did you drop your actual video there? So you got your 1 minute market update for February 2025. I love it. And the black background. What is your call to action in the video? So I'm playing with that, Bill. You can listen to them. The commercials, I'm very specifically saying, I make them the offer thing, whatever I'm offering, and I say, if you want, or you can tap learn more or scan the QR code right now. So that's the call to action for the short commercials. In the other ones, for example, the I have a buyer, I say, call or text me at the number below, or you can go to joshvips.com and we can connect some other way. Or I say something along those lines. That is something that I'm going to test to figure out what may work best. Andrew, since you're doing this as well, what does the call to action in your 1 minute market update, what does that sound like? Or what are you doing with that?
I think the call to action in mine is if you'd like to be included in our monthly market update, scan the QR code above, and then there's a disconnect because it actually sends you to your property evaluation page. So it's almost like if you sign up on the valuation page, you're going to be automatically put in the monthly update and you're going to get an immediate property valuation. So it's a mixed message, but my landing page for the market update isn't really visually very good.
Wow, there's some great comments. We'll keep going here, but don't feel bad if you have to go because the replay of this will be up and available tomorrow morning, and it'll be immediately after on Facebook. Andrew said, you said, why are some unlisted? So the only ones I have unlisted right now on that channel are the short commercials. And maybe I shouldn't, I don't know. And I could go and make them public. There's no reason for them not to be public, I suppose. I just, for whatever reason, when I did those, I marked them unlisted. Now go ahead, Andrew, sorry.
I apologize. I just wanted to say I put a hyperlink back to my video.
Yeah, perfect.
It's actually 1 minute and 27 seconds, which it's getting pretty good engagement.
What are performance max campaigns? I have no idea, Richard. I assume that was one of the settings. I've never used that campaign type, whether it's for Google search, like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, or for these. I'll figure it out, but I don't know what that means. Ned, do you have a special camera or use the laptop? How about the microphone? The special camera is my iPhone. I have a newer MacBook Pro. So this is the webcam on my newer MacBook Pro. Most of us here have a phone that you can change the settings to be high enough quality. If you're going to create content with your laptop webcam, it may necessitate getting an external webcam that can do higher quality. It seems like this one is good enough, but it does not. So when I recorded the content on my phone and then I drop the video into Descript and I edit it, when I export that video, I can export that in higher quality than the video that I recorded on my laptop. It would not export in the same quality level in Descript. Now, it was still good enough, but it wasn't as good. And it's probably just my lack of, there may be settings that I can adjust on my laptop to fix that. I just haven't gotten to that point yet. But for most of you, the phone will suffice as long as you can get those settings up. All right, a couple more at the end here. A newer iPhone 16 Pro does 120 FPS. Wow. And some tips for recording my son. Thank you for that. Celeste. Oh, so this is a good question. When you recorded the video, you used the Descript app on your phone when you recorded, correct? No, I didn't even know that there is a Descript app on my phone. I literally just recorded it with my phone. Okay. Oh, so this is good. What's that?
I don't know that Descript has an app. I thought maybe there was one. I just didn't know.
I've only used like the web browser version of it on my laptop. That's all I've used.
Okay.
A couple of other settings on your phone that will be helpful. Okay. And Andrew, you may want to test this as well. Most of the people that I was talking with said that you should be positioned in the videos so that you're in the middle and that your eye level is 2/3 up. And the way there's a setting on your phone, if you turn on grid, same settings, the camera settings, you'll actually get a grid on your phone. And when you record it, you can check, are my eyes in the, because it breaks it up into thirds. And you can check, are my eyes like in the line of the top third? The other cool thing about that is that as I've recorded those like that, the quality is good enough that I can use Descript or CapCut and turn it into a vertical video. Now, I'm a little bit bigger on that, but it's not like unusual. If you watch influencer reels or shorts, it's pretty much the same. So you can record so I'm getting into the weeds a little bit. A couple of the videos, the monthly market update video and the I have a buyer video, I recorded those vertical. And when you create the campaign, when you put the video in, Google Ads will say, if you put in a short version or a vertical version, we'll get you more views. So I took those videos. I'm not sure that I showed this on the channel, but I have 2 shorts. So those I turned into shorts. Now, you can see that they're not nearly getting as many views, but it was very easy because of how I recorded the original content to turn them into those. So then I was able to use them not only on YouTube, but I also took those videos and I uploaded them as a Facebook reel, as an Instagram reel, as a TikTok, and I don't know if I'm forgetting one of the short form video platforms. I think that's it. Ned, list of video topics. The monthly market update. This isn't a topic, but high quality listing videos. Just sold stories, like actually turn it into a story. Tell the story of the clients. I have a buyer. And then I think valuable content. 5 dangers of overpricing your home in this market. 7 steps for getting the highest price possible when selling your Mechanicsburg home. Those are what I've been doing, and that's separate from the commercials. The commercials are for lead magnets. So other lead magnets I'm going to test are some of the things that I just mentioned. If you'd like a free copy of this 12-page report with the 5 dangers of overpricing your home here in Mechanicsburg, PA, tap Learn More or scan the QR code right there. So those are some of the other lead magnets that I'm going to test just to see what works. And I think the reality is they're all going to work. It's just going to figure out which will work best. And it's not just the cost per lead, but there'll be 1 or 2 of them where those people are more likely to sell, where they're further down the pipeline or along down the funnel, whatever phrasing or terminology. Oh, look at that. Chris, look at that. Negative placements. I'll have to play around with that. Thanks for sharing that in the chat. Anybody else? Questions, comments, etc. This is the longest one we've had in quite a while, which I guess is good news. If you haven't already, and I know a bunch of you have, and a bunch of you are texting me personally as well, you can text YT to 717-510-1452. Or if that doesn't work, text YT to 717-571-0456. Or just DM me or email me or whatever. I'll make sure that you get on the VIP notification list. Do you recommend doing ads for new builds? Great question, Isabel. I didn't even think of that. So I am going to do that in two ways. Well, let me take this back. So I don't have a listing in Mechanicsburg right now that I can go and shoot a super high quality video of. However, I have the permission of several of the new home builders in Mechanicsburg. So on my short list of things to do is I'm going to create a 60 to 90 second listing video for the new construction home. And I'm going to shoot a 15-second or less commercial. The call to action for both of them are going to be very simply to check out all available new construction homes right here in Mechanicsburg right now. Tap the Learn More button or scan the QR code right there. And I won't reference it, but I will have on the screen joshvips.com/MNC for Mechanicsburg New Construction, which will also go to the same lander. And what I'm going to test first is sending them to my KV Core, an IDX squeeze page in KV Core, but set it to immediate for registering. In other words, they'll see the homes for a second and it will immediately prompt them. I'm going to test that. And then I will also test a landing page. Actually, what I will test is a page like the one that we talked about a couple of weeks ago on the Google pay-per-click, but it'll be for new construction, where it's a multi-step, ask them a couple of questions, and then they can enter their name, email, and optional phone to get the new construction deal of the week. And the reason for that being, most of the people buying new construction in Mechanicsburg in my area, it's not their first home purchase. So they might have a home to sell.
Josh, you should also try the new Google lead forms. They're performing really well. Corey Prince up in Canada is using them.
Okay.
They're converting higher than landing pages.
Okay. That's good to know.
So he's either using that or Lofty. Those are
Okay.
the two things.
By the
Gotcha.
way, Josh, are you guys experiencing multiple offers kind of thing?
Not on new construction, but on resale inventory, yes.
I was going to add, over the summer, I sold a home to a client and we had been in offers. We had 7 and 15 so many offers on one house. I suggested that we consider what would a new construction get them. And the interest rate was actually lower than they would have bought otherwise by quite a bit. And it brought them into a newer price point. So that could be a great video just to teach people that there's a way to get around being in a multiple.
So I would challenge you that you should turn that into a video and you should turn it into a text-only post like this one. This has nothing to do with today's topic, but these types of posts, if you follow me on social, these types of posts are getting me a lot of traction and interaction and people calling and texting, etc. It is literally text only. And in this one, I tag my buyer agent and one of our LOAs because they helped with the transaction. And all I'm doing is telling a story like you just told, but doing it in a way that it's compelling. It's got a hook at the top. So you'd have to come up with something where, they thought I was crazy when I suggested this, but they couldn't be happier with their new home or something like that. Some kind of hook like that. What am I using for that? I'm trying a whole bunch of different stuff. And then I've tried ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, but you got to start with the core of the story. And what I often do is I talk to whichever one of them. I tell the story and I ask it to clean it up. And then I go and clean up the edited version to make sure it sounds like me and it's compelling. And as crazy as that looks, like all those line breaks, those are getting a massive amount of traction. And also they work really well as Google business profile posts with a picture of the happy clients. And also they work really well as Nextdoor posts with a picture and tag to the location.
Perfect.
Now, Nextdoor is a whole other, you can get into, trying to be polite. There are some Nextdoor, you could end up with comments that you might have to delete. But I have found that telling stories like that, I've seen, so I did one recently on Nextdoor that actually, it was the text story of the record sale video. I posted that, and there were people, just regular consumers, arguing with each other in the comments about, there was somebody basically sharing fake news and then another person saying defending, but best known, I'm the one that posted it. So like, pretty much everything I post on Nextdoor gets 1,000 to 1,500 to 2,000 views, which is just people seeing my name. Again, off topic, but
Do you pay
regardless.
for Nextdoor?
Nope.
Okay.
All organic. Every time I post on there, they say, you want to create an ad? You can go and find a video of when I was paying them years ago. Just was never worth it, in my experience. Interesting. Forcing buyers to resell with ag land. Anyway, okay, so many of you have already done that. Last call, not last call, because you might be watching this after the fact. But if you're interested in the boot camp around this, I'm going to go A to Z. I'm going to build the channel. We're going to create the videos. I'm going to edit the videos. I'm going to create the ads. We'll watch it A to Z, the landing pages. I'll even figure out Jeff's lead forms, because I'm going to have to figure that out at one point or another anyway. You can text YT to 717-510-1452, or if that doesn't work because you've got KB Core and it's being weird, you can just text me directly, YT 717-571-0456. I appreciate the unbelievable crowd and everybody hanging out for as long as they did, and Andrew for sharing, and Celeste for the great questions and comments, and James for helping out with the pricing and all of that, and Jeffrey sharing, and Chris sharing, and I don't want to, Ned, great questions. Thank you for that. Oh, I missed one here. Hillary, when you're recording, are you holding your phone landscape mode? Yes, 100%. And if you record them like I had said with the grid, you can then take that one and turn it into the vertical version as well pretty easily. Descript will do it. CapCut will do it. I'm sure there are others that you can do it, but it's pretty easy to do that. So thank you to everyone for being here, for the comments, for the support, for the questions, etc. I'm pretty fired up about this, and I'm excited to share. Next week, we have Burton from PropStream coming on. He's going to be talking several things, but focusing on the list automator function in there, because that was something that came up towards the end, the last time that we had Burton on. And so we're going to do a deep dive on that and some other updates and upgrades as well. Get after it, take action, and good luck to all of you. Have a great rest of the week, and hope to see you next week.